before coming here, you must have read somewhere that this country has been occupied by everyone. Okay? Everyone has been in Malta. Now imagine all these many different powers and empires and civilizations, almost all of them, they chose to settle on top of this hill, the hill we're on right now, because this is some 200 meters above sea level. And this is right in the center of Malta. So from up here, you can see the entire island, I dare say, and that makes it such a strategic point from where to defend the entire island. You must now not use your modern mindset to understand what I'm talking about, okay? You must try to imagine back in the 1100s, even way before that, okay? Even before Christ. It was different empires, different civilizations who always wanted to conquer what others had. So it was always about defending what you own. And for the best defense of the island, this was the best spot. Soldiers from up here could see without themselves being seen. So if you ask me right now, but when was Medina built? No, I cannot give you an answer to that question because it's made of different layers of dates, of history, of civilizations. It's a tad bit more complicated than that. So we know, for example, the first to settle up here was the Bronze Age community. We're talking about prehistory, 2500 BC. We even had the Phoenicians coming over here. And then we had the Carthaginians, and of course the Romans as well. Now this is when it gets very interesting. During Roman times, the city was not as small as the Medina we're visiting today. So what we're seeing today is actually just 1/3 of the old Roman city. The Roman city was enormous, and they also had a different name. They had called it Melite. They had called the island Melite as well. And Melite derives from the Italian miele, which means honey. And we even have an endemic bee. And they surely knew all about it. They made use of honey for its medicinal properties, but they also used honey to sweeten their food. There was no sugar at the time. So of course they had to name their entire country, their entire colony, their most important city after honey. The name Malta derives from the name Melite. Okay? Malta, I'm being very honest with you here. Malta is not the real name of the country. That's the English pronunciation to the name of the country. So us Maltese, we do not call our island Malta, it's Malta. Malta derives from Melite. The Arabs then, the Moors, they took over Malta right after the Romans, right? And they changed everything. The first thing they did was they reduced the size of the Roman city. They made it much smaller so that they could defend it better, and they also changed its name. So they gave it an Arabic name, Medina. Have you ever heard this name?
Yeah.
Pretty sure you did. But the one in Morocco, because Medina, Morocco is like the most famous Medina ever. But that is not the only Medina that exists. Okay, there's Medina in Tunisia, there's Medina in Malta, there's Medina in many other Arabic countries, same as Rabat. Earlier we were driving through Rabat. We will be driving again through Rabat. If you go to Gozo, the sister island, I'm afraid this week you won't be able to due to the high winds. There's also a Rabat over there as well, because Medina means the city. Rabat is the suburb of that city. So what's within the walls is the Medina, but what's outside the walls is the Rabat. Simple as that. Then during medieval times, okay, the 1100s, the 1200s, the 1300s, This island used to be always given in fief, and this is very important to understand, okay? The Maltese people were never owners of their land.
Oh.
We never were. The Maltese were considered always, they were always considered to be the poor of the society. The farmers, the fishermen, the stonemasons. So even if they had land, they actually never owned that land. They had to work that land, but never own it. The owners were always noble families. Noble families were never Maltese. They were either French, they were either Spanish, they were either from Sicily, and these noble families always lived within the walls of Medina. And that reshaped the design, the history of the city. Because when we get there, the very big fancy houses and palaces, those were homes to these noble families, and they still are. So the descendants of these families are still in there till this very day. There are 93 people living within the walls of Medina. So it isn't just small in size, it's also the smallest ever in the number of residents as well. Right now though, we're getting closer to the Dingli cliffs, okay? So we are making our way to the highest point of the country. You can surely see that the landscape here is very different, especially for those of you staying within the very modern cosmopolitan parts of Malta, like Sliema, like St. John, even Valletta. And Valletta is beautiful, but again, it's not rural at all. There's nothing rural over there because it's in the harbour. This is the rural side of Malta. So you can see the dry stone walls, the fields. Finally, you can see a bit of agriculture. If you look to the right-hand side, you can also see that there's a big white ball, and that is the radar for the Maltese Islands, because again, we are on the southern coast over here. So this is the side of Malta that is looking over North Africa. Some 320 kilometers away from this, we have Tunisia. Of course, it is too distant for you to see. What you will see from the cliffs is a rock, an island in the middle of the sea that still makes part of the Maltese archipelago, and it is called Filfla. It's completely uninhabited. And here we also have a small church dedicated to Mary Magdalene.
Прям как в Африке. Или как в Португалии, тоже.
archipelago of Malta. Fantastic. And it is Malta, not Malta.
Мальта.
Malta.
Маль.
Malta. No, Tunis.
Тунис. Смотри, чтобы тебя в Тунис не унесло. Иди сюда. Мамочка моя.
You can see all
No,
over.
I will make a video of this.
What do I pick?
Да, ой. А чтобы вы понимали. Вообще. Это просто.
View of myself.
Это просто. Чтобы не унесло. Ah. Klас.
A ty għandek naqra mbit il-vjera?
Still see, you will see it even better within a few seconds, the island of Filfla. So if you look to the right hand side, you will spot yet again this rock that's in the middle of the sea, and it's called Filfla. Now the name sounds very strange, but it does derive from a Maltese Arabic word, felfel. Felfel means red pepper. Now it's not like red pepper grows on the island, it doesn't, it never did. But ages ago, the island used to have the shape of a pepper. There it is on the right hand side. It doesn't anymore, so it doesn't look like a pepper anymore because it was used by the British for target practice. And therefore it's gotten a bit smaller with the passing of the years. Then eventually we have noticed that it's become home to this particular bird species, the storm petrel. It nests over there. We have also discovered that there is a lizard that endemically grows and inhabits that one island. Mentioned limestone. I have briefly also mentioned the fact that it's our only natural resource. This is the only thing we've got. There are two-way streets, but they're very narrow. If you look to the right, if you look to the left, you can actually see the use of this stone throughout the ages. So we have the farmhouses, the townhouses, these dry stone walls. Wherever you dig, you find limestone. And being our only thing we have, we cannot absolutely export it. So the exportation of limestone is completely illegal. We must be at a scale. Boschet derives from the Italian boschetto, and it simply means a small forest. This woodland was not, it is not a natural woodland, it is man-made. So all the trees, all the plants were yet again planted by the Knights of St. John back in the mid-16th century. They even had a beautiful palace built. You might catch a glimpse of this palace on our right-hand side in a in few minutes. So when you see on that menu pasta with rabbit sauce, that's what they mean. Okay, they serve it with some of the sauce from is literally attached to Medina. They're so different from one another because Medina is more of the noble city, which has become touristy, I must admit, and you will see for yourself.